Apple tells you, their value proposition is, their philosophical strategy, if you will, in their business is this. We believe that everything we do and everything we produce is designed to challenge the status quo. The products we make are easy to use, user-friendly, they're attractive. And one of the things we do is we make computers and MP3 players and iPhones, and want to buy one? Let me suggest to you that if we're going to have a great profession, if we're going to move our profession forward to a leadership position, then we may need to look at the philosophy, the why, the value proposition of our profession, then develop the how and then the what, versus working from the outside in. Why do we do what we do? And I'm going to argue with you that probably most chiropractors would have a difficult time answering that. And by the way, in healthcare, the question comes down to a very simple one. What is the nature of a human being? All CAM professions is a basic philosophy of vitalism, something that there's more to life than just physics and matter. And so we are a self-developing mechanism. We are a self-adapting mechanism. One of the things that vitalists have is a great respect for the principle, the law of homeostasis, that recognizes that a living organism will always tend towards its optimum degree of expression. So we are not only self-developing, we are self-maintaining, and of course everyone knows we're self-healing. The value proposition, what is the nature of a human being? And you answered it as medicine has, that we are mechanistic beings only, that we're a machine. Then you would have the obligation as an end product of that to always be driving the machine towards normal. Blood pressure, 120 over 80. If it gets too far out of line, drive it back to 120 over 80. And of course the easiest way to drive it back to 120 over 80 typically is with drugs, radiation, surgery in our society. I've never seen a drug, surgery, or radiation, while necessary in emergencies, I've never seen one of those drive someone back to normal homeostasis. In fact, the whole objective of those things is to interfere with the normal homeostatic ability of the organism. And then we look at what can interfere with the nerve system. And it seems they come down to three sort of general categories. Number one, the nerve system can have physical damage to it. Physical trauma. The next is environmental poison. You put drugs inside the human body. We found this out in the 60s, for example. If you take drugs, you can interfere with the normal function of the nerve system. Either intentionally or unintentionally, it'll affect the nerve system. And finally, you can get emotional insults. And of course, in chiropractic, we call them the 3 T's, thoughts, traumas, and toxins, that represent the damages that occur to the nerve system. Then it would seem that if our goal is to get rid of the interferences, then we would then have the responsibility of reducing these damages to the nerve system. Healthcare is not just about treating a symptom, or not just about unlayering or preventing problems that have occurred in the past. The issue now is, how do we develop effectively, wholly, throughout the course of our lifetime? How do we go from, and of course our unique contribution in chiropractic towards all of this is that controversial word, and I have no idea why, called subluxation. And I grant you this, people will say, well, there is no distinct diagnosis for subluxation. Well, there is no distinct diagnosis for autism either. Autism is a series, a syndrome. And subluxation to us means it's a syndrome. It's a study. It's an understanding of the relationship between the function, the structure of the body, and the nerve system. And so as we look at this thing called subluxation and how it impacts the body, it's our belief that if we start from the inside out, and we look at the why of chiropractic, that if we start with a vitalistic philosophy, and we understand that how we do this is by working with the nerve system and getting rid of interference. And that what we do when patients come in is deal with condition-based corrective and wellness development care issues, along with the lifestyle changes that they have questions to us. And we were sitting there and Kevin read me some of the emails that we receive every day. One of them said this. It's a very short one from a 15-year-old girl in Canada. She said, last year on my bike, I hit my head, I had a brain injury. I can't practice. She says, I can't do those things any longer. And they tell me I will never be able to ever do them again in my lifetime. She said, just shortly, a few weeks ago, I thought about committing suicide. And her last line, and I quote, said, can you give me my life back? Can you give me my life back? Why? The body's a self-developing, self-healing, self-maintaining mechanism. How? The nerve system controls our dialogue with ourselves and the environment. And if you have interference to the nerve system, it needs to be corrected. And we have a lot of study and work still to do on that. And what do? We see 15-year-old girls and give them their lives back. Want to buy one? Thank you.